I've made other videos where I've highlighted this particular type of machine, which is a Berliner trademark. This machine was introduced in 1897 as the improved gramophone in the United States. And then after some court battles, which I've explained in a couple of other videos, Emil Berliner, the inventor of the gramophone, sold his patents to Eldridge Johnson, and the company eventually became Victor Talking Machine Company. But Emil Berliner moved to Canada and started making gramophones here. And this is one of the first style he made, which was the trademark machine. Called the trademark because it's the one that's featured in the very famous image logo with Nipper the dog. This is a Canadian one, but it's a little bit of an unusual Canadian one. It's got some features that you won't see on almost any other Canadian Berliner. In fact, this is the only one I've ever seen like this, and I don't know quite how it ended up like this, whether it was something that was made in the factory or if it was something that someone afterward adapted it to play. So let's take a look at this. This is a Canadian one introduced in 1900 with some modifications though. At first glance, it looks like most of the other trademarks you may have seen in the other videos. One thing right off the bat you'll notice is this reproducer. This is the automatic grand reproducer, which Berliner introduced a little while after production started on his machines in Canada. So it was an upgraded part that someone paid extra to have on this machine or ordered it separately. But what's unusual about this machine is not just the reproducer. Let me put this over here. But you can see this weird break. What someone has done is adapted this machine to play larger records. And unfortunately, the nickel-plated parts have all been replated, which is a bit of a shame, but I don't know what shape they were in before, so who knows. First, you'll notice the back here, the spring case, usually is like a half round case. This one sort of has sides on it. That's because this is designed to house a bigger spring so that it can play larger records. The brake here is designed to extend beyond the case enough to allow the brake to be used while a larger record is on. And that's why also you'll see this part, the reproducer support, has been extended out also. So let me put a larger record on and we'll see how that looks. Once the larger record is put on, you can see why the brake had to be extended so far, and it just barely fits. And then you can see the support there for the reproducer. It just gets around there, and unfortunately the crank, there wasn't much you could do. You have to crank it up before you put the record on. So here it is. If I put the reproducer where it's supposed to be, this machine is a bit of a question because we don't know how it ended up like this, but it certainly is an interesting adaptation to increase the size of the records that could be played.